who vanished from Hollywood. The young little stars who once lit up our TV screens and movie theaters, capturing hearts with every smile, ruled magazine covers and fan clubs across the country. But just as quickly as they rose to fame, they disappeared. Icons from the golden years of film and television, from the 1930s to the 1970s, all household names in their time. So, where did they go when the limelight faded? Some stories may leave you heartbroken and surprised. Today, we're looking back at 20 child stars who once held Hollywood in the palm of their hand. 1. Deanna Durbin. Deanna Durbin was Hollywood's golden girl in the 1930s and early 1940s, a shining star who quite literally saved Universal Studios from bankruptcy. Starting as a kid with an enchanting soprano voice, she quickly became the beloved girl next door, winning hearts with hits like 3 Smart Girls and 100 Men and a Girl. Her charm wasn't just box office magic. Durbin also snagged an Academy Juvenile Award for her impact in turning Universal's fortunes around. But here's the twist that hooks any true Hollywood mystery lover. Deanna didn't stick around for the usual Hollywood roller coaster ride. Unlike many child stars who fought to stay relevant, Deanna grew tired of playing the same innocent roles and restless with the pressures of fame. By the mid-1940s, she tried breaking into more serious and mature films, but audiences preferred the old Deanna. So, in a dramatic turn, she left the glitz behind. At just 28, at the peak of her power, Deanna murmured goodbye to Hollywood, remarried, and slipped into a quiet life in a farmhouse near Paris. She absolutely vanished from the public eye, only granting a rare interview decades later. From box office savior to elusive recluse, Deanna Durbin's story is a golden age Hollywood tale with a fascinating twist proof that sometimes the brightest stars burn out by choice, not by chance. 2. Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple was the ultimate child star of Hollywood's golden age, starting her film career at just 3 years old and skyrocketing to superstardom with movies like Bright Eyes and Curly Top. Imagine a tiny actress who didn't just capture hearts, but became the top box office draw for 4 straight years in the late 1930s, outshining even big stars like Clark Gable and Greta Garbo. Shirley's charm was everywhere. Dolls, dishes, and clothes with her face were household staples, making her a beloved figure during the Great Depression. But as Shirley grew older, the magic of her child star status began to fade. By the time she hit her teens, audiences weren't as interested in the sweet little girl anymore. She tried her hand at more mature roles, but left the film industry completely at 21, eager to pursue a normal life. What makes her story even more fascinating is that Shirley didn't just disappear after Hollywood. She reinvented herself as a diplomat and public servant, representing the U.S. around the world for years. So, Shirley Temple's Hollywood story is a classic tale of dazzling child stardom, followed by a graceful exit and an impressive second act in public service. A true golden age legend who vanished from the screen but left a huge legacy behind. 3. Brandon DeWilde. Brandon DeWilde was a standout child star of Hollywood's golden age, best known for his unforgettable role as Joey Starrett in the classic 1953 Western Shane. He started young, making his Broadway debut at just 7, and was the first child actor to win the Donaldson Award, which marked him as a truly gifted performer. Brandon quickly became a household name, even earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for Shane, a huge achievement for someone so young. Despite his early success, Brandon's career faced the classic child star challenge, finding his place as he grew older. He starred in his own TV series called Jamie and appeared in various films throughout the 50s and 60s, but the transition to adult roles was tough. His small stature and youthful look made it hard for him to shed the child star image, and eventually, opportunities became limited. Tragically, Brandon's life was cut short at the age of 30 in a fatal car accident, robbing Hollywood of a talented actor who might have found his way back to the spotlight. His story is a bittersweet reminder of the fleeting nature of fame and how some of the brightest young talents vanished too soon from Hollywood's scene. 4. Bobby Driscoll. Bobby Driscoll was one of Disney's brightest child stars during the 1940s and early 1950s. He stole hearts in classics like Song of the South, So Dear to My Heart, and Treasure Island. He was also the voice and live-action model for the lovable character Peter Pan in Disney's 1953 animated film. Bobby's talent was recognized early on, winning an Academy Juvenile Award for his performances, which made it seem like a long, successful career lay ahead of him. However, as Bobby hit adolescence, things took a sharp turn. Physical changes with acne and a deeper voice made it hard for him to get roles, and his once sparkling Disney contract was abruptly terminated. This sudden drop from fame was devastating. On top of that, being thrust into a public high school with no support system left him struggling socially and emotionally. He began experimenting with drugs, which led to legal troubles and further damaged his career prospects. Bobby's decline was tragic. Once a celebrated star, he vanished from the Hollywood spotlight, battling addiction and poverty alone. His life ended too soon when he died at just 31 years old, found deceased in a New York City tenement. Bobby Driscoll's story is a heartbreaking reminder of how stardom's harsh realities can swallow up even the most promising child stars. 5. Freddie Bartholomew. Freddie Bartholomew was one of the shining stars of Hollywood's golden age, famously known for his roles in David Copperfield, 1935, Little Lord Fauntleroy, 1936, and Captains Courageous, 1937. With his angelic face, refined British diction, and natural acting talent, he quickly became a box office favorite and was even the second highest paid child star after Shirley Temple. Freddie's portrayal of young characters with emotional depth made him stand out. Spencer Tracy once said Freddie's acting was so true, it was way over people's heads. Born in London, Freddie moved to Hollywood at age 10 to pursue his career under MGM. But despite early success, his childhood was marred by legal battles over his earnings, which drained much of his fortune and took a toll on his career. As he grew older and entered adulthood after serving in World War II, his acting roles rapidly diminished, and he turned to directing and producing for television instead. Freddie Bartholomew's story is a bittersweet one, a child star who dazzled audiences with his talent, but eventually vanished from the Hollywood spotlight, choosing to lead a quieter life, away from the glare of fame. 6. Margaret O'Brien. Margaret O'Brien was one of the brightest child stars of Hollywood's golden age, known for her ability to evoke deep emotion and authenticity on screen. She debuted in MGM's Babes on Broadway in 1941, but quickly rose to fame with the 1942 wartime drama Journey for Margaret, where her powerful performance as an orphan made her an overnight sensation. She earned a special Juvenile Academy Award for her unforgettable role as Tootie in Meet Me in St. Louis, 1944, alongside Judy Garland, cementing her place as a box office favorite and one of the highest-paid entertainers of her time. Margaret's talent was truly remarkable. She could cry on cue and project emotions that felt far beyond her years. She starred in over 30 films, including The Canterville Ghost, The Secret Garden, and Little Women, consistently impressing audiences with her mature acting skills. However, despite her early phenomenal success, like many child stars, Margaret struggled to transition into adult roles as she grew older. Eventually, her appearances became less frequent, and she moved towards theater and television, stepping away from the Hollywood spotlight. Though she didn't vanish completely, Margaret O'Brien quietly disappeared from the Hollywood mainstream, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most talented and touching child stars of the golden age. Number 7. Jackie Cooper. Jackie Cooper was one of Hollywood's most beloved child stars of the 1930s, famous for his expressive face, tousled hair, and that unforgettable pout that could melt any heart. Starting out in the Our Gang Little Rascals comedies when he was just a kid, Jackie quickly became a fan favorite. At only 9 years old, he made history as the youngest actor ever nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor with his lead role in Skippy, 1931. This huge success landed him a contract with MGM, where he co-starred with Wallace Beery in memorable films like The Champ and Treasure Island. Despite his early fame, Jackie's journey wasn't all smooth sailing. Like many child stars, the transition to adult roles was a challenge, and by his teens, MGM ended his contract, calling him a bland actor as a juvenile. But Jackie didn't vanish entirely. He reinvented himself as a respected director and actor in adult roles, even appearing as Perry White in the Superman films of the late 70s and 80s. Jackie Cooper's story captures the highs and lows of child stardom, early meteoric fame, the struggle to grow up in the spotlight, and ultimately, successfully carving out a different path in Hollywood. 8. Hayley Mills. Hayley Mills was a true Disney darling and one of the most popular child stars of the early 1960s. She shot to fame with her starring role in Pollyanna, 1960, where her heartwarming portrayal of the optimistic orphan earned her a Special Academy Juvenile Award, the last ever given. Following that, she became even more famous playing twins in the classic The Parent Trap, 1961, where she charmed audiences with her wit and even sang the hit song Let's Get Together, which became a worldwide sensation. But what makes Hayley's story interesting is how she managed the tricky phase that many child stars dread, the transition to adult acting. At the height of her Disney success, she realized she didn't want to get stuck repeating the kid star role. By age 20, she turned down a new Disney contract to avoid being typecast and sought more challenging roles in British cinema and theater. She even famously declined the role in Lolita that her father turned down for her, reflecting her careful career choices. While Hayley never completely vanished, she did step back from the Disney spotlight to craft a longer career on her own terms, balancing film, theater, and later television. Her story is a great example of a child star who didn't just disappear, but transformed her career to avoid the vanishing act that often happens in Hollywood. 9. Claude Jarman Jr. Claude Jarman Jr. was a remarkable child star of Hollywood's golden age, best known for his breakthrough role as Jodie Baxter in the 1946 film The Yearling. Discovered at the young age of 10 during an MGM talent search, Claude captivated audiences with his powerful and moving performance, which earned him a Special Academy Juvenile Award. This award was a prestigious honor previously given to renowned child actors like Shirley Temple and Judy Garland, placing Claude in elite company. Born in Nashville, Tennessee, Claude was initially an amateur theater enthusiast before Hollywood beckoned. Despite early acclaim and roles in films such as Intruder in the Dust and Rio Grande, alongside John Wayne, Claude's acting career was relatively brief. By the early 1950s, as he entered his teenage years, his star began to fade, and he eventually stepped away from acting to pursue higher education. Claude attended Vanderbilt University, studied pre-law, and then served 3 years in the U.S. Navy. Later, he found success behind the scenes, becoming the executive director of the San Francisco International Film Festival and helping cultivate film culture on the West Coast. Claude Jarman Jr.'s story is a classic example of a child star who vanished from the Hollywood spotlight but carved out a meaningful life beyond the screen, blending early fame with a rich career in cultural leadership. 10. Judy Garland. Judy Garland is one of Hollywood's most iconic child stars from the Golden Age, known especially for her unforgettable role as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Starting her career at MGM as a teenager, Judy quickly rose to fame with her powerful voice and emotional depth, earning a Special Juvenile Academy Award for her early performances. Despite her great talent, Judy's childhood in Hollywood was extremely difficult. She endured grueling filming schedules, harsh studio pressure about her appearance, and was given drugs by the studio to control her energy and weight, which sadly contributed to lifelong struggles with addiction. Her role as Dorothy singing the timeless "Over the Rainbow," made her a beloved figure worldwide and sealed her place in film history. Judy continued to star in musicals and dramatic roles throughout the 1940s, including Meet Me in St. Louis. However, the pressures of fame and personal struggles led to an unstable adult career, with ups and downs in both film and music. What makes Judy's story fit perfectly into the vanished child stars theme is how the harsh realities of Hollywood overshadowed her early brilliance. Though she never fully disappeared, her tragic life behind the scenes and early hardships reveal a child star who shone brilliantly but paid a high price for her fame. 11. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney was one of Hollywood's most energetic and enduring child stars from the Golden Age, starting his career in vaudeville before moving to film at just 6 years old. He became incredibly popular for his role as Andy Hardy, a wisecracking teenager in a beloved series of 16 movies that made him a household name in the late 1930s and 40s. Rooney also starred alongside Judy Garland in musicals like Babes in Arms, which earned him a Special Academy Juvenile Award in 1939 for spirit and personification of youth. Despite his massive early success, Mickey's transition to adult roles was complicated by his small stature, only 5'2", and the shift in Hollywood tastes after World War II. Still, he found ways to keep working, appearing in films, television, and stage productions for decades. He was nominated for several Oscars later in life and even won a Lifetime Achievement Award, a rare achievement for someone who started as a child star. Mickey Rooney didn't vanish from Hollywood like many child stars. Instead, he had a long, if turbulent, career full of highs and lows. His story is a testament to persistence and adaptability. He was the child star who kept reinventing himself, even as the spotlight shifted away from his youth. 12. Butch Patrick. Butch Patrick is best remembered as the iconic child werewolf, Eddie Munster, from the classic 1960s TV series, The Munsters. Starting his career at age 7, Butch quickly made a name for himself by appearing in numerous popular TV shows like Bonanza, Gunsmoke, and Mr. Ed. But it was The Munsters that catapulted him to stardom. Playing Eddie, the lovable monster kid, made him a household name and a pop culture legend. Despite this early success, Butch's career didn't follow the typical child star path. After The Munsters ended in 1966, he faced the challenge of moving beyond the monster kid persona. He starred in the children's show Lidsville in the early 1970s, but eventually his acting roles became scarce. Unlike many child stars who completely vanished, Butch remained connected to his fanbase through conventions and nostalgia events celebrating classic TV. Butch's story is interesting because he managed to avoid the tragic pitfalls many child actors face. While he didn't remain in mainstream Hollywood, he carved out a niche in pop culture history and embraced his legacy with humor and grace, proving that sometimes vanishing means stepping out of the spotlight to a quieter but still meaningful life in show business. 13. Anthony Sides. Anthony Sides was a child actor who appeared in numerous films and TV shows during the 1940s and 1950s, best known for his role as Peter in the classic 1947 holiday film Miracle on 34th Street. Starting his career young, Sides had small but memorable parts in films such as Claudia and David and Shadow on the Wall. His roles were often uncredited, but he was a recognizable presence on screens of that era. However, like many child stars of his time, Sides eventually stepped away from Hollywood. Instead of struggling for adult acting roles, he chose a very different path. He joined the U.S. Army and served honorably for 20 years, including 2 tours in Vietnam, earning medals such as the National Defense Service Medal and a Purple Heart. After his military career, he moved into a more private life, founding an auction business and staying out of the spotlight. Anthony Sides' story is a perfect example of a golden age child star who vanished from Hollywood by design trading the spotlight for service and a quieter, fulfilling life. His journey from child actor to decorated veteran offers a unique and inspiring chapter in the history of vanished child stars. 14. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor began her Hollywood career as a child actress in the early 1940s, quickly becoming one of the most popular stars of classical Hollywood cinema. Born in 1932, she started acting at age 10, gaining early attention with roles in films like National Velvet (1944). Her incredible beauty and talent helped her become a rising star through the 1940s and 1950s. Unlike many child stars who struggled to grow up in the industry, Elizabeth successfully transitioned into mature roles, starring in classics such as Father of the Bride (1950) and A Place in the Sun (1951). Her career hit new heights in the 1960s with critically acclaimed films like Giant (1956), Cat on a Hot Tin Roof (1958), and Suddenly, Last Summer (1959). She won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress, notably for Butterflied 8 (1960) and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf (1969). Despite public scrutiny of her personal life, especially her highly publicized marriages, including 2 to Richard Burton Taylor, remained a major Hollywood figure for decades. Though she never completely vanished from the spotlight, Elizabeth Taylor's early start as a child star and her evolution into a Hollywood legend makes her story a fascinating tale of transformation and endurance within the Golden Age's legacy. She passed away in 2011, remembered as one of the greatest actresses of all time. Natalie Wood. Natalie Wood began her Hollywood career as a child actress, starting in films at age 4. She gained early recognition with roles in classics like Miracle on 34th Street, 1947, where she played a skeptical little girl who doesn't believe in Santa Claus. Growing up in Hollywood's golden age, Natalie quickly became a beloved figure known for her charm and talent. Unlike many child stars who struggle to make the transition, Natalie successfully evolved into mature roles. Her breakout adult performance was in Rebel Without a Cause, 1955, where she starred alongside James Dean, earning critical acclaim. She continued to shine in hits such as West Side Story, 1961, and Splendor in the Grass, 1961, demonstrating impressive depth and versatility. While Natalie's career flourished, her personal life was fraught with challenges. Tragically, her life was cut short in 1981 under mysterious circumstances, which added to the intrigue surrounding her story. Natalie Wood's journey from a radiant child star to a Hollywood legend and her untimely death makes her story one of the most compelling in Golden Age Hollywood history. 16. Billy Lee. Billy Lee, born William Lee Schlensker, was a popular American child actor active from the mid-1930s to early 1940s. Starting his career at just 4 years old with the film Wagon Wheels, Billy quickly became a familiar face in Hollywood, appearing in over 30 films during his career. He worked alongside some of the biggest names of the time, including Roy Rogers, Olivia de Havilland, Donald O'Connor, and Randolph Scott. Billy's most memorable role was in The Biscuit Eater, 1940, which showcased his natural charm and ability to connect with audiences. Besides acting, Billy was also talented in singing and dancing. He even formed the Billy Lee Band, demonstrating his drumming skills in the 1941 film Reg'lar Fellers. His talents earned him roles in various genres, from musicals to westerns. Despite his early fame, Billy's career was relatively short-lived. He retired from acting in 1943 at the age of 14, as many child stars did when faced with the difficult transition to adult roles. After his Hollywood career, Billy lived a quieter life away from the spotlight until he passed away in 1989 at age 60. Billy Lee's story is a classic example of a golden age child star who vanished from Hollywood after a successful but brief run. 17. Arthur Stone. Arthur Stone was an American actor known for his work during the late silent and early sound film eras. Born Arthur Taylor Gutza in 1883, He began his acting career with roles in numerous film shorts in the mid-1920s before moving on to feature films. Stone appeared in over 50 films across genres, from dramas to mysteries, throughout the late 1920s and 1930s. Although he started with supporting and starring roles in silent films like The Valley of the Giants, 1927, and The Farmer's Daughter, 1928, the advent of sound films saw him shift mostly to smaller and supporting parts. Some notable films included Border Town, 1935, and Fritz Lang's Fury, 1936. Arthur Stone's career slowed down by the late 1930s, with his last credited performance in 1938's Go Chase Yourself. He passed away relatively young in 1940 at the age of 56, effectively vanishing from Hollywood during his later years. Stone's legacy is that of a hard-working character actor of the Golden Age who left behind a steady body of work but never achieved major stardom, quietly fading away from the public eye as the industry evolved. 18. Billy Booth. Billy Booth, born William Allen Booth in 1949, was a well-known American child actor, best remembered for his role as Tommy Anderson, Dennis Mitchell's best friend on the hit CBS sitcom Dennis the Menace from 1959 to 1963. His entry into acting happened by chance when an agent approached his mother during a Little League game. Billy appeared in over 100 episodes, becoming a beloved figure in American television households. Beyond Dennis the Menace, he guest starred in popular shows like The Twilight Zone, My Three Sons, The Donna Reed Show, and The Andy Griffith Show, showcasing his versatility as a child actor. Despite his early success, Billy chose a very different path as he grew older. After graduating high school in 1967, he attended the University of Southern California and later earned a law degree from the University of California, Hastings College of the Law in 1974. He then pursued a career as a practicing lawyer and eventually moved away from Hollywood to live a quieter life in Los Osos, California. Billy Booth passed away in 2006 at the age of 57 due to liver complications. His story is a fascinating example of a child star who vanished from Hollywood to lead a successful and fulfilling life outside the entertainment industry. 19. Charles Herbert. Charles Herbert was a popular American child actor in the 1950s and 1960s, recognized for his trademark sulky expression and thick, furrowed eyebrows. He appeared in over 20 films and more than 50 television shows during his career, often playing inquisitive and troubled kids confronted by extraordinary circumstances. Notable roles include his performances in the sci-fi classic The Fly, 1958, where he played the son of a scientist transformed into an insect, and William Castle's horror film 13 Ghosts, 1960, in which he portrayed Buck Zorba, a boy living in a haunted house. Born Charles Herbert Saperstein in 1948 in Culver City, California, he started acting at age 4 after being noticed by a talent agent. Early in his career, he appeared in various genres, including film noir such as The Night Holds Terror, 1955, dramas like Ransom, 1956, and comedies such as Houseboat, 1958. Despite high-profile roles alongside stars like Cary Grant and Sophia Loren, Charles's acting career diminished as he grew older, with mostly TV guest roles in series like The Twilight Zone and My Three Sons during the 1960s. Charles Herbert passed away in 2015 at age 66. His story is emblematic of many child stars who enjoyed early fame but faded from Hollywood as adults. 20. Brandon DeWilde. Brandon DeWilde was an American actor born on April 9, 1942, in Brooklyn, New York, into a theatrical family. He began acting at age 7, debuting on Broadway in The Member of the Wedding, for which he won the Donaldson Award as the youngest actor ever to receive it. He also starred in the film adaptation of the play. Brandon became widely known as Joey Starrett in the classic 1953 Western Shane, earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor at just 11 years old. In the early 1950s, he starred in his own TV series, Jamie, becoming a familiar face in American households. His career continued into adulthood, with notable roles in films like All Fall Down, 1962, HUD, 1963, alongside Paul Newman, and In Harm's Way, 1965, with John Wayne. Despite his talents, Brandon's small stature and youthful appearance limited his adult roles. Brandon DeWilde's promising career was tragically cut short when he died in a car accident at the age of 30 on July 6, 1972, while driving to visit his wife in the hospital. His legacy remains as one of the brightest child stars of Hollywood's golden age.